Well, well, well. The band is back. Yes, this is a special edition today of Generations of the Game podcast. Your host, JP, along with my co-host, Will Lyons. Will, what's going on, good brother? How you feeling today?
Hey, I'm good, bro. Anytime we recording, it's a great day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As we drop in number 24, Kobe's number 24 today of Generations of the Game podcast
We
today. And
25. We
hope
Robert Horry.
Oh, we Robert Horry now. Okay, we Robert
Mm-hmm.
Horry and Benji Wilson's number was 25 when he was at Chicago Simeon. So we there 2-5 plus 5 plus 2 equals 7. God's number according to some people. So we're there. But yeah, man, we're going to jump right into it. And unfortunately, we have some very sad news right now to pass on to you. I guess it came out. I guess about 2 hours ago, 2 or 3 hours ago, that word news came out that the passing of legendary center, one of the best college players of all time, NBA Hall of Famer, one of the best NBA centers of all time, Bill Walton, passed away today at the age of 71 from cancer. It's a shocking story because nobody really knew that Bill Walton was sick, man, and that's the reason why I think it's kind of stunning. I'll talk on Bill Walton in a minute, but Will, what do you think about this sad news that we received, man, this afternoon?
It's definitely, unfortunate, man. First of all, losing anyone, is tough. Cancer, man, it's ravaged like just many families and communities. So, prayers and thoughts out to the Walton family, his friends, everything like that. But, from how we know him, legendary player, injuries affected what was going to be an all-time great career. Still ended up having, a great career. A champion, multiple time All-Star, All NBA performer. Ended up winning Six Man of the Year later in his career. And the way people, in my generation of the game really know him is, as a broadcaster, like that, like lighthearted humor he brought to the game. Sometimes he wasn't even talking about the game at all, but it was highly entertaining and enjoyable, So that will definitely be missed. Shout out to, Luke, his son, and the rest of his family.
Yeah, man. It's this unfortunate and sad situation, that like you said, man, I know about cancer. I know how cancer ravages, ravaged my family as well, and like you said, a lot of families. It's crazy how we have cure for COVID and vaccines and stuff, but we have nothing, for cancer at all. We raise all this tens of millions of dollars a year, but it keeps on ravaging everybody. Like keeps on ravaging people. And I do believe that they said the statistics say that actually 1 in 3 people in our lifetime will be getting cancer or die from cancer. So it's a very horrible sickness or illness to have. A lot of that's to do with the environment, the air we breathe and everything, man. You see everything going on, the foods and stuff that we eat. They putting stuff in the food and stuff. The foods aren't as natural as they used to be. So it's a number of reasons why this cancer, this horrible thing called cancer is here. But with that being said, man, Bill Walton, man, he was a great center. As a matter of fact, that's like one of my early basketball memories. I can remember as a 4 or 5 year old child, the Portland Trail Blazers playing against the Philadelphia 76ers with Dr. J's first year in 76, 77. You always saw this guy with the ponytail and this tall guy was dominating, man, with the headband on, and it was Bill Walton, and easily had one of the great careers as far as being a winner in basketball history. He won 2 championships, as you said, Sixth Man of the Year, league MVP in 1978. He won three national championships at UCLA in 4 years. He had a great career. He's definitely one of the top 5 college basketball players of all time, easily. And like you said, injuries derailed a all time great player. And for the people out there who are like a little bit younger and stuff, think of him being a what you would call a Joker type player from Denver. That's the type of game Bill Walton we're talking about, but more athletic and a better shot blocker as well, and probably definitely a better rebounder. Joker had everything else offensively. Bill Walton could score, but his game wasn't based on scoring. His game was based on rebounding, the assists, making his teammates better, and everything like that. There, we got glimpses of him for 2 seasons in 1977 and 78 of how great Bill Walton was and was going to be, in the upcoming years, man. And all we could say is, condolences and to his family, to the friends, it's a huge loss for the basketball world. Very huge loss. Like you said, he's one of the funniest commentators that I could think of, man. Because I used to watch some games and stuff just to hear with Bill Walton some craziness he was going to say. That's because it was entertaining. And then he'd go on talk about the Grateful Dead and and all that stuff. But yeah, man, rest in peace to the legendary Bill Walton, man. And like we said, condolences to his family, his colleagues at ESPN, the fans. This is a huge loss for the basketball community, man. One of the legendary players that ever played this game. Definitely. All right, Will, as we go on now into our first topic of the day. And we got it, since we're on the realm of the NBA, we got to start with the NBA playoffs. I guess we'll start off first with Minnesota and Denver. And wow, 3-0. Minnesota and Denver. Minnesota and Dallas. Wow, 3-0. Dallas is up on Minnesota, man. Who saw this coming? We knew it was going to be, we thought it was going to be a 7-game series. We thought it could go either way. But man, let me tell you something, man. That backcourt of Kyrie and Luka and the big men they have up front, Gaffin and Lively and them, man, they are taking it to Minnesota, man. How you see this series going, Will?
I mean, numbers and history are on the side of the Mavericks, man. Like, it's not impossible, but it's going to be the tallest of tasks, for Minnesota to come back, to make it to the finals after this. Like, 3-0, that's a big hole, 2-1, if they were able to get that last game, then there's some optimism there. But seeing the way that, sadly enough, Karl Towns has had a historically bad, shooting series. I think he's shooting like 16% from the 3-point line, and he keeps firing them. And to date, I believe that's like the lowest 3-point percentage in conference finals history. So that. And to be honest, man, when you think about the matchup before the games were played, you think of Minnesota for their defense. You don't really think of Dallas for their defense, but Dallas' defense in spurts has been downright dominant. You see his calls fits for Anthony Edwards, for the entire Timberwolves team, man. And I didn't see it going like this. You're right, man. The acquisitions of Gafford, the drafting of Lively, and the trade that acquired PJ Washington. Those 3 changes to their team, to their lineup, are seemingly going to guarantee them a spot in the NBA Finals. And it's going to push a conversation that I think some of us, that really follow the NBA and basketball, are a little more willing to have than others. And that conversation is centered around the greatness of Luka. Like before, it was easy to say he's just a stat guy. But now, if he gets in the finals and if he gets a ring, you're looking at the beginnings of one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball resume-wise, because he's been all NBA every year except his rookie season.
Yeah, man. Man, Luca, man, he's incredible. Him and Kyrie are incredible, man. And I'll go on record. I'm not going to do what everybody else is doing, top five backcourts or whatever. I will say this though. Offensively, they might be the best backcourt we've ever seen. Because I mean, Dallas has two closers back there in Luca and Kyrie. And they have great players who play to their strengths in PJ Washington, Gaffin, Lively, Derek Jones is playing outstanding defense, giving them a lot of athleticism off the wing. They have players. Hardaway, of course, brings them scoring off the bench. The Dallas has a very good team, man. And in my opinion, they have to be the favorites right now to beat Boston, in my opinion, because I think the front court depth, they have a little more front court depth in Boston, and they have those two closers back there in Luca and Kyrie. It's going to be a very, very good series. Guarantee that. But I really do like this backcourt, man, of Kyrie and Luca.
Agreed, bro. And one thing I have to say, I think because I think the final starts like next, like third. It starts. It's some time if they close it
June
out. And,
6th.
yep. So they got a lot of time for Lively's
Yeah.
back to heal, and so I think they'll be straight, and definitely the favorites in my book. And the other thing I want to say about this series and that last night's game, Gobert. I mean, they're about to be done anyway, but he needs to be fined, suspended, something. Because when he pushed Gafford on that oop, he could have been seriously injured, and they need to get stuff like that, out of the game.
Yeah, it was definitely a hard foul. And on the Minnesota end, I think Minnesota is not playing to their strengths is the reason why they're losing this series as well. They're not going inside more. For some unknown reason, they're settling for too many 3-point shots and not going inside enough to draw the fouls and get their players getting the big men into foul trouble. And I don't understand it. That was their bread and butter against Denver, especially when you saw that the last game they played against Denver in what was that, game 6? No, I'm sorry, 7. They went inside, and that's what got them. They're going away from their game and playing this 3-ball game and stuff instead of going to the strengths of what they need to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big problem with Minnesota too, and they have too many spurts sometimes where their big time players aren't stepping up in certain key situations. They're a young team though. They'll be back for sure. They'll definitely be back for sure. But we thought it was gonna be a little better series, man. But like Dallas gonna close them out tomorrow night, man. If not, they'll close them out by 6. If not, but yeah. So salute to the Dallas Mavericks, man. I think by the time Thursday comes around, they're gonna have a nice little vacation, nice little rest to rest themselves and stuff, get everybody healthy for the NBA Finals. As we go on to the other action going on in the Eastern Conference Finals, we have Boston versus Indiana, and Indiana should have won their first game. They should have won the first game. They were up by 5 with 30 seconds left, and Boston did what Boston does, man. Game 2 they had a chance. Game 3 they had the lead, but man, Boston took the will from them, bro. After game 3, I mean, you couldn't play much better than what they played, even without Tyrese Halliburton. And from what I understand, he's not playing tonight, so I expect this series to be over tonight, and Boston have themselves a real nice vacation, man. So, how do you see this Boston Indy series going so far?
Hey, man, it's time to call the cleaning service, man. We got to get the brooms out. It's over, bro. Like you said, I was shocked, and I would say early on impressed with the effort that Indiana came out with. In game 3 without Halliburton, and they were hooping, man. Nemhard is really showing the world what he can do. But talent usually rises to the top, man. And those all NBA players, they showed why they are who they are, and it's over, man. I don't think it's too much to say about it.
Nah, there's really nothing much to say, man. And the big two, they've really stepped up. Jason Tatum had a big game the other night. The game before that, Jaylen Brown had a huge game, man. You know, Tatum and Brown's really showed out this series. Also, Derek White has played well. Drew Holiday with his defensive effort the other night to close the game out was good. Al Horford, I don't know how this man keeps doing it, bruh. How he keeps doing it, but he's still putting daggers in people at 38, 39 years old. It's crazy. You wait for Al Horford, like, come on, man. He can't keep this up. Nah, Al keeps on ticking, man. He keeps on ticking, you know. And yeah, man. I mean, the only problem I have with Boston though is they seem to turn it on and turn it off against a lot of these teams. They can't afford to do that to get in the finals, especially if they play Dallas. They can't afford that. They're going to have to really, really play. So I'm looking forward to a great finals of Dallas and Boston. It's like I said, right now, I would give the edge to Dallas the way they're playing and the teams they're beating. I give the edge to Dallas, and I think they have the personnel to make Tatum and Brown work on both ends of the court as well, to wear them down just a little bit with their athleticism and their length inside. So we're looking forward to definitely a great finals starting June the 6th. Yeah, Will, as we go on, sticking with the topic of basketball here, the WNBA. And things have been picking up and getting heated, it seems like this week. As we talk about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, man, they went through some bumps this week, but you know they're playing pretty well. How do you see the WNBA this week with what on, and especially the hard fouls that Angel Reese took, and also the hard picks that Caitlin Clark was taking this week that a lot of people seem to be talking about. How do you feel about that?
So I'll start with the Caitlin Clark side of it. You know, a good hard screen is just part of the game. You know, honestly, I don't think there's any, you know, ill will or malicious intent there. You know, those players are just out there, you know, doing what they got to do, you know, and as you level up, you know, at the highest level, the players are, you know, they're bigger, stronger, faster, you know, so those screens are going to hurt a little more, you know. If anything, it's teaching Caitlin that, you know, instead of, you know, yelling at the ref, she needs to yell at her teammates, because it's the job of typically, you know, the 5-man or the 5-woman, you know, you got that back line view. You see the whole court, everything that's going on. You're supposed to call out when the screens are coming so your teammates not blindsided like that, because that's when people get hurt by, you know, picks like that. You know, it's not typical unless you really don't know what's there and you run into that brick wall. So, you know, I think Caitlin will be fine. You know, having another former number 1 pick on the team, and, you know, Aaliyah Boston, like, look, you know, Aaliyah, you know what I'm saying? We trying to get these W's. It's going to be hard to do if I'm sitting on the bench because I'm injured, if I keep getting smacked by these screens. So, you know, I need you to call them out. You know, it's a simple conversation between teammates, you know. Now, the situation between Alyssa Thomas and Angel Reese, that was dirty, man. Like, so I saw a clip where it was like 2 back-to-back plays. The first play I saw, it truly was not a foul. It was like they were going for the ball. Alyssa Thomas gets the rebound. You know, she moves the ball away from Reese to secure the ball, and Angel was like in the air, and she just kind of falls. You know, that is what it is. But the play where it looks like her elbow ends up in, you know, Reese's throat, that's dirty. You know, I don't want to try to cross and compare the leagues because, you know, the women stand on their own, but that's the type of stuff I expect to see, you know, with like a Draymond Green or somebody like that. You know, I didn't know, you know, AT to be a dirty player, but that was damn sure, you know, an unnecessary dirty play, and Angel really could have been hurt.
Yeah, it was a hard play, man. You know, and like you said, it can't call AT a dirty player. You know what I mean? You know, maybe she got caught up in the heat of the moment or whatever. But yeah, it definitely should have drew like, you know, definitely a technical foul, or even possibly, just to leave the game, just to get double tech and just be gone. Period. I agree with you about Caitlin with the picks and stuff. The teammates got to definitely call that out more. And Caitlin, Indiana, they're trying to get an identity, man, and they're trying to come together. They had a big win against the Sparks the other night, where Caitlin hit a big shot. They're coming on. Angel Reese is having a very, very, very good rookie year. She's been getting 13, 7, 8, even double-figure rebounds consistently with the points that she's scoring. I think Cardozo, I think she's coming back this week or so. So that should help her more on the inside as well with the boards, and open up the game a little bit more for Angel and every day, actually for each other. Yeah, man. But with JT though, man, stuff happens sometime in the game and stuff where you're not thinking, and I think that's that. I mean, Alyssa Thomas, right? JT, AT. It's common sometimes where you get caught up in emotions or something, or whatever. And I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's just something that happened, and everybody needs to move on. And I tell you, man, that Aja Wilson, bruh, she's looking like the league MVP right now, man. She's been dominating. I saw a game the other day where she had 29 points, 15 rebounds. Was it 2 blocks? She was 11 for 12 for 15 from the field or something like that, man. She's definitely the best women's basketball player in the world to me right now, hands down, definitely. And she comes to play, man. And them aces, man, they just keep on ticking, Will. They just keep on ticking. They lose a generational great talent like Candace Parker, man. And they only lost 1 game so far this year. They're not missing a beat, it seems like.
No, I agree, man. Great team. Asia is by far the best player in the league. The only thing she wasn't really doing before was like shooting a 3 at a regular clip, and now she's knocking that down, man. She's unstoppable.
She's definitely unstoppable, man. And speaking of which, Alyssa Thomas, she's gotten off to a great start too. She's just a walking triple double every time she comes on the court, man. She doesn't get her due neither as being a great player as well. She's definitely a great player as well in the league. Skylar Diggins is playing well right now with her team. She's with I think Seattle, right? Skylar,
yeah.
She's not with Dallas anymore. She's putting up some pretty good big numbers and stuff, man. It's good to see her back as well. But WNBA is definitely in the full swing, man. And I'm glad that they're selling out these arenas, and the TV, just starting to be more games on TV, more stuff, and people showing more interest in the women's game, because it definitely is a great game to watch and to see, and the way they play and everything, it's definitely good, man.
Yep. JP, real quick.
Yes,
So before we move on from the W, while talking about Connecticut, we gotta acknowledge Dewana Bonner. For fans that may be new to the WNBA, enjoy her while you can. She is currently, I believe, 5th all time in WNBA scoring, and most people don't even know that. So enjoy the greatness while you can. And tune into her.
Yeah, thanks for that plug too, brother. She is a player, man. And when they mention the great players, they don't mention her, but she's definitely up there, as one of the great players in the WNBA, right now. The Connecticut Suns are great. They have a very tough team. New York Liberty, all these teams. And also they've expanded out. I think Philadelphia needs to get a team as well. I would love to see a team expand here to Philadelphia, because I think there's a market for it for women's basketball here in Philadelphia, definitely. And also they have their first franchise outside the United States in Toronto as well. So, congrats to the NBA. Keep on growing that game, and these players get their money, and let's keep supporting them, man. As we move on now, also into the world of basketball, let's talk about something about Jalen Rose. He had a statement last week where he said that he felt as though that the players in the United States need to, basically paraphrasing, basically said that they need to start working harder on their games and stuff, because he basically said the players from other countries are going to start coming in and taking over the league, and there's not going to be enough jobs left for American basketball players. Interesting take, because you look at the top 5 players in the game right now, you can easily make a case that they're all non players from the United States, outside the states. You can easily make that thing. And that, if Luka wins, if they win Dallas wins a title, man, there hasn't been an American-led force team. Where Kyrie is there too. Of course, Kyrie is there as a co-star, but when you look at the player of the lead players of these teams, Luka in Dallas, Joker in Denver. You had who was that in 2022? Who won? That's right. It was the Warriors. Then you had Giannis in 2021. You had the Lakers. But you look at 3 of the last 5 champions, they're all led by players from outside the United States. There hasn't been a United States player actually won a league MVP since 2019, 18?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's been 5 or 6 years where a player from the United States hasn't won. So I think he has a little bit of merit with what he's saying about these players from other countries coming over to the NBA and potentially even making it maybe even half the league, or even more so the league, more than the players born in America playing here. I have a take for it, but how do you feel about the statement that Jalen Rose made about the NBA becoming more foreign players than American players in the future?
I don't know that it'll ever be like that as far as like percentage wise or anything like that, but I do think there's merit to what he's saying. When you look at the way a lot of our amateur game is and everything like that, JP, we talked about it. It's like, 3-pointers, dunks, not much else, but when you look at almost any, foreign player, especially coming over from the European leagues, the first thing that's talked about is never how athletic they are. It's the IQ they have for the game. Even your boy Wemby, like he's like 7'4" or 5", whatever. But look at it, he was literally taught every facet of the game. He handles the ball, he shoots the ball, he passes the ball, and the way they do the farm system, you learn every part of the game, instead of, oh, this guy's 6'2", we're going to make him a center for the rest of his life. Like we do, a lot of times here when kids are tall early, instead of teaching them the full game, a lot of times they just get taught a part of it, and I think that is why we have players like a Jokic, you know what I mean? And then when you Embiid even, and when you look at a lot of I'll use the big men more specifically, like a lot of American-born, bigs. It's very basic game, not that it's not impactful, but it's very basic, and I think the difference is, you talk about like all NBA teams, MVPs, like the top of the league is what's changing, so you do have to, learn the game and really verse yourself in it to be as impactful as possible. Because Luka, I mean, you can make an argument, obviously this is, me being a little extra, but, watching Luka play, you can make an argument a guy off the street can outrun him, but they can never outthink the game. They can never outthink him. They can never, he's 10 plays ahead. He knows every dribble, every move he's making. He already knows what the defense is doing. I mean, you saw it when he had Gobert looking like he was on the dance floor the other night, for the game winner. So it's definitely some merit. I think it's a little more sauce on it. But as far as the top of the league, the faces of the league at large, he's definitely on to something.
Yeah, I agree as well. A lot of people want to blame AAU and stuff. And I look, there's some bad AAU programs out there that let kids run up and down the court. Yeah, but there's a lot of reputable, very good AAU programs out here. Like, for instance, of course, we have Team Final, who one of the coaches is Aaron Burt, friend of the show. He's been on here with us before and stuff. I mean, they do a tremendous job. All you got to do is look at the players they have in the league and stuff. They have like about 13, 14 players in the league, and they have some get ready to go to the NBA Finals, like a Derek Lively. Look how they developed him as a big man. Very good big man, not only with the pick and roll, but also has a nice mid-range jump shot and everything. Jalen Duren, another one they developed and stuff. They've developed a lot of great big men, guards, and everything. And if I had a child or something like that there that was a very, very good star basketball player, I would definitely send him to somebody like T Final, or even the other one that's based out of Camden, with it Scholastic
Scholars,
Scholars.
yep,
Yeah,
Scholars
the
Elite.
Scholars, definitely. And also Philly Pride and a couple other Philly AAU teams. Philadelphia, let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell people out there right now. Philadelphia, as far as Philadelphia area, as far as high school coaches goes, and we've had some great colleges coaches goes. This is a breeding ground for coaches. We've had some of the best coaches in basketball right here in this area that knows how to develop and teach kids how to play basketball. We really do. I know Chicago got their thing. I know LA got their thing. I know New York got their thing. But I can honestly say that we, in my opinion, we have the best amateur coaches right here in the Philadelphia area developing players, because all you got to do is look at a player from the Philadelphia area. When they come into the league, they are fundamentally sound. They know how to play the game. They think, they're smart. They do everything. So yeah, we know how to play the game the right, quote unquote, as people say, the right way here in the Philadelphia area. I mean, you look at the history of the players that we've had. Anywhere from Kobe to Wilt to Dawn Staley to Earl of Pearl Monroe. All them players had their own individual greatness, athleticism and stuff like that, their creativity, but also they all were fundamentally sound players as well. So, that's one aspect of it. Also, I think another thing is too, like, a lot of the older heads, like when I was coming up, or when others would come up and stuff, you always had an older person to mentor you at the basketball court. And, a lot of kids don't have that mentorship from the old head who could teach you certain things, like even as far as giving you hard fouls and stuff, and to work on your game. They made your game better. And a lot of those kids coming over here from Europe, they're playing against grown men. They're playing against players that played in the NBA and stuff. I mean, these kids like Luka was 14, 15 years old playing against grown ass men. Wemby the same way. Look at this new kid. Now they got the sensational kid over in Europe. The kid Muhammad is 6'10", 6'11" at 12 years old. He's playing at 18 and under league against high school players and dominating them. That makes your game better as well, playing against older players with more experience, because it's not necessarily the physical aspect of that game. It's the mental aspect of the game, the mental aspect of the game of what am I going to do? What are they going to do and stuff? So I think we need to get back into that, to swing of things of doing that as well. And my last point, Will, was this here. Another thing is too, a lot of these kids did not grow up in America. Some of these kids have come from areas or countries that are way poorer than America. So they're more hungry than American players. Not to say, we have our own problems here where a lot of these kids come from too, but also they have less distractions. American players have a lot of things to go through. The social media aspect, people wanting to be around them all the time. Let's hang out. Let's go out to the clubs or something. I'm not necessarily saying the younger players do that, but I'm just saying, let's go out to wherever young people do this, 18 and under. Let's go here. Let's go to this social event. Let's go to clubs when they're early 20s and stuff. We're gonna hang out with this rapper or this person right here and stuff. You know what I mean? And constant things are thrown at them as a distractions and stuff. So, they don't have that type of thing over in Europe like that. Not saying they're not distracted, but we have more here, especially with the social media aspect and everything going on where everybody's into your life and everything over here.
I actually agree with a lot of that, the distractions, and definitely the lack of mentorship and just playing pickup in general. You see a lot of it is like, dribble drills with against cones and stuff like that. Like the best, practice you can get is playing actual basketball. There's nothing better than that. Whether it's somebody that's in the league or just another person, seeing how they react to things that you're doing, ways to get your shot off, you see it, like, people that make shots one-on-one just shooting around versus gamers, right? And and all of those things that matters, man. So excellent points, JP, for sure.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the development right now of what we're seeing with Kawhi Anthony and Carmelo Anthony's son,
Oh yeah,
bruh.
Keon.
Keon, I'm sorry, Keon, bruh. Keon is tearing up the IBL because I mean, what better mentorship or mentor you can have than your dad, who was an NBA Hall of Famer, an all-time great player and everything. And he brought him up. You see how he brought him up real, like at his own pace, real slow and everything. Like, not slow, but he brought him up at his own pace to where now you can actually make a case for him this year of being possibly a top 10 player in the country right now as we speak, because he is really tearing up the IBL league, and and look how he's mentored along. I think back to when Kobe Bryant was a youngster in high school at Lower Merion, where he played against the Sixers. A lot of times in the summertime after the camps and stuff were over with, man, they say he used to tear them players up down there. He used to tear them up. That's how he got better. That's how he learned the game and stuff. LeBron, he played against some of the Cavaliers players when he was in high school and stuff. They said John Lucas was at one of them, because John Lucas was the coach at Cleveland back then. They said John Lucas was there. They said that he was like, I gotta have this dude in Cleveland. He said, I gotta have him here in Cleveland because of the way he was dominating. I remember one play, they said he came out of court on the center at the time, Chris Mims, and did a backwards dunk on him. When he saw that, he said, man, he got to come to Cleveland. He got to stay home. He has to. So, playing with older players, not necessarily being an NBA, but playing against local legends or players who understand the game and stuff helps your game as well as the coaches and stuff you have, or the AAU coaches or your high school coaches you have and stuff. So, I think we need to I don't think it's a big thing we need to tweak, but I think it's just little things we need to tweak and get back to. That's what I think we like. That needs to happen. One of the things that's going astray too is like the mid-range game. The mid-range game has gone astray, and and let's keep it a buck. Some players love the lifestyle of basketball, but they love what they can get from basketball. Some of these players are just so talented, man, and you just get by. Don't have nobody pushing them to where they need to go, because they're always used to having people saying yes and being around them and stuff. You got to start really, like, for you to be great, to reach that level that Kobe and LeBron's and your Magics and your Jordans, the level they've reached, man. You got to reach to a whole other different level to get there, bro. It's not about physical talent. It's about your mental makeup as well. And do you want it bad enough?
For sure, man. That's what separates, somebody just making a league and, all-time great, because they all have talent.
Yeah. Everybody that comes into the league is a talented player. No matter whether some of y'all think they're bums or whatever, nobody's a bum in this league. Like I said, when you got 7 to 8 billion people on this earth and only 300, 400 jobs or something like 350 to 400 jobs and stuff. So you're not a bum playing in this league. You're not a bum if you're playing overseas neither. You are definitely a baller. But but some are just the cream of the crop over others. But nobody's a bum whether you play in Europe or overseas or whether you play in the NBA. You're all ballers, and you've all made it to some extent that the average baller can't make.
1,000%, man. Shoot, just playing in college is an accomplishment, man. Only a small percentage make it there.
No matter what level, 1, 2, or 3, it doesn't matter. You play college ball, definitely. And we're going to segue into something major that happened this week that changed the landscape of college sports. Basically, we have seen a demise and the end of amateur sports as we know it with this new NCAA ruling this week that happened to come up. We'll speak on it and tell the people out there what happened and how this came about.
Essentially, there was a court ruling that for the NCAA that universities can now directly pay players. Not only can they pay, players that's currently on their campus, I believe it's like 2 point something $billion that will be paid out to, former players at Power Five universities uh, that were before the NIL time frame, because at least NIL allows you to earn something off your name. But it's major. I'm the younger generation of the show, but to be honest, the way things were progressing, I didn't think that we'd ever see this. I thought we had a greater chance of the NCAA folding as a whole than we did seeing them take a step in what I believe is the right direction.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you with that, man. And also, I'm a starch starch critic of the NCAA. You know how I feel about the NCAA and their hypocrisy and everything. But I gotta give the NCAA president some just due here, man. I think he's seen the business models and how business is going and stuff, and they basically made the right decisions with this. It only goes back as far as 2016 with the NIL money and everything, but I would really like to see players from other eras compensated as well, maybe from the 50s, 60s up until today. I would really like to have seen something like that. But if anybody that really needs to be compensated and really people really need to be thanking is Jerry Tarkanian. I know Coach Thompson and Coach Chaney, they were outspoken critics too, but Jerry Tarkanian said decades ago about how the NCAA needs to start paying these kids to go to college and everything like that there, man. And if anybody deserves some money and stuff, it should be the Tarkanian estate as well, man, because you could thank him. You could also thank the players like Ed O'Bannon and his brother Charles O'Bannon and them for also speaking up for athletes and everything. We've seen the Fab Five in the past, Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, all of them. They've spoken up and stuff, man. So people have been advocating for this for decades, man. But I would say the main three is Jerry Tarkanian, Ed O'Bannon, and Charles O'Bannon, who got this ball really, really rolling with this image and likeness and everything like that there, man. And maybe I am skipping some other names who were part of that lawsuit against the NCAA too, that the O'Bannons and them had as well. They really need to be thanked and for the compensation as well. Now, also, I know we're skipping others, but even others from the past too that spoke out against the NCAA, they also need to be, thanked as well for providing the opportunity where now the NCAA is starting to right their wrongs, which they've been wrong for decades. And how many of their decisions have actually affected athletes across the boards, regardless of sports, that cost people money and stuff like that there. And stuff that they've done and the heinous stuff that the NCAA has done. But we're moving to a step in the right direction by this happening. And I say kudos to everybody that got this ball rolling, man. And also, it's bigger than just football and basketball. Other sports as well need to be compensated. Gymnastics, the track and field, the swimmers, and all that stuff there, the baseball players and stuff. So everybody hopefully will start getting paid. Maybe more some than others, because let's be honest, basketball and football especially are the revenue moving sports. But the other sports should definitely be compensated as well.
I agree. I mean, the other athletes they're putting on the line just like everybody else. They should get something. We know football and basketball bring in the big dollars, and that's where your TV or media deals are circulated around. But you have to be fair, man, and no college athlete should have to wonder, if they can, eat a decent meal or afford their own jersey or anything like that. I always think back to Chris Webber in the Fab Five documentary, looking in the store window and seeing his own jersey and knowing he couldn't afford it. Like stuff like that. You just never forget.
Could you actually picture that? The reason why that jersey is there because of you, and you can't even get a percentage of the money off your own jersey. That's how stupid this whole craziness and madness this whole thing was. Like you said, he went into the store, saw his jersey, he couldn't even buy it. That's crazy. You the one putting the blood, sweat, and tears and making this NCAA money and stuff, and you couldn't even buy your own damn jersey. That was, I mean, I'll never forget that. I was actually so like, wow, this is crazy. It's crazy. Also, Will, I'm gonna let you touch on this subject, man, of a young quarterback suing his former university over an NIL deal, brother. What's this about that happened to go on?
So, former, highly ranked quarterback, Jaden Rashada. He's from, I believe, Pittsburgh or whatever. He played at Pittsburgh High School. He was
California.
committed. Yep.
California. Yeah.
Yep. To play for the Florida Gators. As we talked about, NIL moves a lot these days, and I guess he was promised a certain amount of money and possibly even like a house or something for his mom. With him having to move across the country, and I guess the boosters or whoever was supposed to make it happen, they didn't fulfill their obligations. So he's taking them to court. I think that this is incredibly interesting because, with the rollout of NIL, there was really no regulation around it. And this is going to be, this is one of the first, situations where you see the potential negatives in it without regulation and structure. Um, I believe if there was an agreement, the young man should be paid what he's owed, and it's as simple as that. But I think what we could potentially see is a settlement before it even gets to court because cases like this, they do one thing. If he goes to court and he wins, it sets a precedence. And now every player that, can prove that they weren't paid whatever they are owed, the precedence is there. That's almost a guaranteed victory in their favor. So I can see the university and their legal team, the athletic department, try. It's already gotten a lot of attention, but I could see them trying to, quiet it, now before, it actually makes it to court because this is going to be, one of those cases that is referenced, throughout history, moving forward.
Yeah, definitely, man. And if they promise the young man certain things and then they come through with it, then that should be on you. You speak to your word. You wanted him to sign that letter of intent to come across the country to go to the University of Florida, and he did. So you should honor his commitment as well. Which I think right now he transferred to the University of Georgia, where he's a backup quarterback. But I'm sure once the quarterback that Georgia has right now, once he leaves up out of there, it's a senior year coming up. I'm sure he'll probably take the reins over and be the next starting quarterback at the University of Georgia. So I heard of Rashada too, and he was definitely one of the best football players in the country when he came out 2 years ago. And man, we're going to see where this is headed to, man, because one thing you don't want is negative publicity, man, and something like that can hurt your recruiting. So yeah, they might have to settle this before it gets to court or goes any further. And let's see, Will, we have our final topic of the day for this one. We gotta talk. I'm going to the world of track and field, man. Man, Sha'Carri Richardson this weekend, Prefontaine meet, opened up with a 10:83, man, which is second fastest time in the world. She looked like she's ready to defend that title, man. She got off to she got off to a pretty good start, but man, her top end speed, man, is crazy, bruh. Did you get a chance to see that race with Sha'Carri this weekend?
I saw some footage of it. I didn't see it live, but one thing I'll say, always lead with, I'm not the track and field guru like you or some of the friends of the show are, but the one thing I like about Sha'Carri, man, is this: she's extremely focused, and it's easy to forget some of the adversity that she faced when she was losing, and I think that's kind of what can separate, a good player or a good talent from like a great. And you can see that, she was fueled by those disappointments and she's ready to take it all.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. And she should. I mean, the way she's running right now, I think by the time the Olympic trials come around and Paris comes around, man, she's definitely gonna be the favorite to win the 100 meters, man. And a lot of people kicked her down, man, when she was down. And I have receipts with some people too that sat there and kicked her down. I now also know the Sha'Carri fans. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man, stop, man, stop. I mean, the young lady went through some stuff, man, with her family and stuff, with her mom dying and stuff. And regardless if she was close with her mom, which is none of our damn business or whatever, the fact is she lost a parent, man. And that's a hard pill to swallow in losing a parent. And but I'm glad she's back, man, shutting all these haters up and doing what she does, because she's definitely a talent that can go beyond track and field. Like, she has the charisma, the talent to take this to be the face, which she basically is the face of track and field, because of the charisma and the talent she has, and people are watching and people want to watch, man. And we wish her here nothing but the best. But the best of stuff, man. And she's gonna put on a show whenever she runs, man. It's always exciting to see her run. And in a couple, we get close to this Olympic trials. Like I said, don't think we ain't forget about Sydney McLaughlin, and Noah Lyles and all them, but especially Sydney McLaughlin, man. We get closer to the trials. Got an interesting take on Sydney McLaughlin, because one of the things that people are going to be like, oh, Jay, I don't know about that, but understand the context of what I'm saying. Is Sydney McLaughlin the most, how can I say it, the most talented track and field athlete we've ever seen in history? And I know people right now are like, what? What did he just say? Yes, is she the most gifted and talented? Because I want y'all to think about something here real quick. She ran 22:07 last week into a headwind, which would have been the headwind, right? Would have been sub 22, 200 meters. That's not even her specialty. She can possibly medal or win gold in the following events. 100 meters, if she concentrated, she could possibly medal. 200 meters, the same thing. The 400, we know what she can do with that. The hurdles, 100 meter hurdles, she concentrated on that, the same thing. 400 meter hurdles, we already know she's the best to ever do it. And we seem to forget she long jumped for 2 years. Like, she did it like 3 beats and jumped 20 feet her sophomore year of high school, and then basically gave up long jumping. That's what I'm talking about. Is she the most talented? And of course, we had to get a roundtable discussion for that one, because that one right there, man. But when that comes around, I just want y'all to know, what do y'all think? You think Sydney McLaughlin is the most talented track and field athlete we've ever seen? Like I said, she's good across 5, 100, 200, 400, both hurdles. That's 5. And I said the long jump, that's like 6 events that she could possibly be in if she concentrated on something like one event. Of course she can't do all 6. We know that. That's humanly impossible. But we're saying if she concentrated on one event here, one event there, we're looking at somebody that could possibly win those 6 events if she concentrated on it. But that's a story for another day. Hey, Will, man, like you said, we wanted to get this quick show in on Memorial Day and stuff. I hope everybody there enjoying their barbecues and stuff, and enjoy this podcast and stuff that we just gave you on today. We'll be back on Thursday, definitely, for episode 26. Will, you got any shout outs you want to send out?
Shout out to all those who ever put on the uniform and served in the military that are no longer with us. The reasoning behind Memorial Day. Also, shout out to DJ Wagner. It's official, going to Arkansas. Big news. Reuniting with Coach Cal, some of his former teammates. And then, shout out to the best co-host in the game, my brother JP.
Thanks, brother. I know I'm nowhere near the best, man, but hey, I got the best co-host right here with Will, man. Definitely, man. He holds me down. Even when I slip up and stuff. Sometimes with stuff and stuff. I got a long way to go before I reach that level, but I appreciate that. And like you said, man, I meant to mention that as well. Shouts definitely to DJ Wagner, man, going to Arkansas. And let me tell you all something. You're going to see a different DJ Wagner this year. He's going to put on a show this year. I feel as though at Arkansas, he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder this year. And you're going to put Arkansas in the mix as well as a team you're going to watch for come next year and in NCAA tournament time. Definitely, they got a nice roster over there, and they got some hoopers, they got some athleticism and some bigs, and they went to the portal too and got some experienced players as well. So we definitely look for big things this year from Coach Cowles and what he does at Arkansas and everything. And also, like Will said, thank you to thank you to the watchers and listeners of this show. And also, as you said as well, shouts to all the military vets who also gave up their life and stuff for this country and everything like that there, man. And shout out to the military vets out there, period, who are serving and stuff and everything. So on behalf of me and Will Lyons, we say peace, enjoy your barbecues, and enjoy your day, y'all. Peace.